please could everybody write a comment right now, just so that I can see that you all have access to the chat box and that you're able to interact. So thank you so much. I can see lots of people saying hello. Thank you so much. Somebody from fantastic. Oh, lovely. Okay, so I'm pleased to see that everybody can access the chat box. So every now and then I'll fling out a question, and I'd very much appreciate it if you'd talk back to me and talk to each other as well. So first of all, I'd like to start about talking about what happens and what is happening with teachers. In your context, I'm not entirely sure, but I'll tell you a little what happened with us. So last year, in January or February of last year, the pandemic really started to hit areas of the world, and China, teachers in China, schools were shut down and teachers were told to move their lessons online. We at Cambridge Assessment English, in conjunction with FutureLearn, had recently developed a course called Teaching English Online. And I got a call from Cambridge Assessment saying, our China office has asked, could you run your course Teaching English Online, because Chinese teachers have been asked to move their classes online. So on the 16th of March last year, we ran, the course incidentally is a free course, it's a MOOC, and it operates on FutureLearn, which is a platform that runs free courses, for those of you that don't know. And so on the 16th of March last year, we ran our first version for 2020 of Teaching English Online. As of today, as of this last week, we are now running for the 5th time our Teaching English Online course. And over the last year, we are now coming up to having something like 300,000 teachers who have joined the course and participated in the course in order to develop their skills in online teaching. Because as I said, overnight, teachers who had little or no experience of teaching English online were faced with the situation where that was going to be their context. To begin with, we didn't have a great number of people, because I think people thought that, you know, the online thing would last for a month or two or a few weeks. But as the year has developed and as it's become clearer and clearer that classroom face-to-face teaching was not going to come back straight away, we've had more and more people who have come to do the course. And I think the thing that we were able to do in the Teaching Online course is to say to teachers, you don't have to change your understanding of methodology, and you don't have to change the way that you teach students. You just need to adapt a little bit to the online situation. So perhaps some right now, you would like to share a little bit about what you know about teachers in your context and how those teachers have had to adapt to teaching in an online context. Again, please use the chat box for that purpose. Somebody's asked the question about what we mean by online teaching. I mean, having to stay in your house and having to stay in your house and teach your students it from your house instead of having to go into school. Somebody else has just posted in the chat box that they did the course. Thank you so much. That's really interesting. And thank you, Thomas, for posting the link. We're running the latest version of the course right now. It's version 8 of the course. So what we learned initially is that actually teachers were just sort of, okay, great. We're getting some examples now of what happened to teachers in schools. And we have somebody's talking here about hybrid learning, about doing a bit online and a bit face-to-face, and teachers having to teach online using Skype and WhatsApp and platforms like Zoom and Padlet. And I think that's exactly what happened. And I think as we have progressed throughout the year, I think teachers have really stepped up to the challenge, and have understood that actually there are benefits to online teaching. And there are some things that we do in online teaching that we'll be able to take with us to the face-to-face classroom. And somebody in the chat has just raised the issue, Margarita, I think it is, about testing online. And I think that is a really, really major issue, and partly why we're having the conversation that we're having right now. So I'd like to try and show you, I'm not sure that the technology will work, but I'd like to try and show you some examples now of how teachers have adapted their teaching to online work, and some of the tools that have been used by teachers. So one of my kind of all-time favorite pastimes is watching teachers and watching lessons. As a teacher trainer, I spend a lot of my time doing that. And so I have a few examples here. And again, I'd like you to use the chat box. I'm going to show you a couple of bits of technology and bits of lessons that teachers use. And I'd like you to watch and to think about what is the aim of this part of the lesson. What is the teacher using the technology for? So the first example of technology being used is an app called WordWall, and please could you watch and say what you think the tool is being used for? Oh. So this is kind of supposed to be a video.
Hi, Marie-Therese. If you just click next, the video should start.
Okay, and click next.
Or the little arrow, sorry. Click the arrow and onto the next slide.
Ready, steady, go.
Ready, steady, go.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi.
Now I see you.
Who will share? Who will share?
I can share.
Okay. I can share. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
So.
Okay. Let's start.
Okay.
Let's start.
Okay.
Already did.
Okay, clever decision. Very clever decision.
Okay.
I know this name to care of. It means
I know this name to care of.
To take responsibilities.
Take responsibilities.
Neglect
So
is the opposite.
I agree.
I agree.
To give in, it means
To give in, it means
I don't know. Synonym.
To pay attention to, ignore.
To pay attention, I think to ignore. Yes.
Attention, I think to ignore. Yes.
To give in is to be stubborn.
To give in is to be stubborn.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't actually.
I don't actually. The right meeting to put. I mean to put.
Okay, girls.
Okay,
Yes,
girls.
we
We have this.
Yes,
we have sentence.
It's like delay something.
It's like delay something.
Ready, steady, go.
Hi.
Hi.
Now I see you. Who will share?
Girls.
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, lots of people have noted that the aim of this part of the lesson is vocabulary. In fact, the teacher is introducing vocabulary. She put the students into breakout rooms. One of the students shared their screen, they then did the activity. WordWall is an app where you can create quizzes or games or matching exercises or putting things in order exercises, and it gives the learners a little bit of variety in the lesson. Later on in the lesson, the teacher uses WordWall again, and I'm going to be really brave and try and show you a little bit of the teacher doing that in the lesson. So here we go with another little clip. So the teacher got the students back together in the main room, did some concept checking, did some work on form, and then just wanted to do a little check to make sure that the students understood the words one last time. So here we go with this. Again, please make any comments in the chat box as you watch.
All right, let's check. What is it?
To be stubborn.
Stubborn. Great.
To take care of.
To take care of.
Take care of. Correct.
To be under the pressure of.
When we feel like we are under some pressure, we're uncomfortable.
To pay attention to. No?
You are bad. You are wrong. You are doing a bad job. Something like this.
To criticize for.
Correct. Criticize for. This one.
To give in.
To give in.
To put.
To get on with.
To get on with. Correct. Let's say all together. To get on with.
To get on
with.
This is puts off. To put off.
To put off.
To put off. Good.
Fantastic. Okay, so as everybody said, reviewing the vocabulary, correcting pronunciation, and showing visual images. Thank you, Irene, for that. Showing visual images of the vocabulary they've learned. So this is a kind of consolidation matching exercise. So WordWall, somebody said in the chat box that it's complicated to prepare, but actually I watch lessons all the time, and teachers are fantastically adept at adapting stuff and creating new tasks. And bearing in mind, as a teacher, once you create the activity that one time, you can use that same task with different classes. I'm quickly going to show you another example of another app that I think everybody probably knows about, Padlet. Padlet for me. So when we do the Teaching English Online course, we suggest to teachers that they don't kind of bombard students with apps and digital tools and so on. That they really try and choose one or two tools that they can use in different types of lessons. So Padlet really is a very versatile tool that can be used in all kinds of lessons. So the slide I'm showing you now shows a teacher who is preparing students for a writing exam, and the students are going to write a story, a narrative. The advantage of doing it on Padlet is that the teacher is able to see what the students are writing throughout the lesson. So it means that they are able to, she is able to give them real-time feedback as they write. The advantage also is that students are able to share each other's work. So Padlet can be used for writing. It can also be used for speaking lessons or speaking tests, because the students can record what they say onto Padlet. That can then be sent back to the teacher, where the teacher can listen and evaluate, or it can be done as a classroom activity where students listen to each other's recordings. Maybe they have a checklist, an evaluation checklist that they complete while they're listening. And so they listen to the checklist, they listen to the thing, go through the checklist, and give a bit of feedback to each other as they go along. Okay, so and
now
we also have the possibility, when we do the Teaching English Online course, we also talk a little bit about flipped learning and flipping the classroom. So we have examples of, we give an example of a teacher preparing a grammar lesson where the presentation of the grammar work is done offline in their own time. And then the time that the teacher spends in class with the students is devoted to practicing. So thinking really about what is value for money, and what do students need to do with the teacher present, and what do they not need to do when the teacher's present. So we also during the course invite participants to prepare a little bit of something and to share it with the other participants on the course. And I have an example for you of somebody preparing a presentation of a grammar point. And of course, your task while you watch is to say, what is the grammar point?
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm drinking a cup of tea. I'm writing in my book. I'm reading. The man is smiling. The birds are flying. Let's repeat. I'm drinking. I'm writing. I'm reading. The man is smiling. The birds are flying. Okay, now it's your turn. You repeat. I'm drinking. I'm writing.
Fantastic. So yeah, everybody, that was an easy question, wasn't it? Present continuous for actions taking place now. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, so as we have developed as teachers have developed their skills over the year, teachers are now using flipped classroom approaches. So they prepare presentations, present it to the students do the preparation work at home before the lesson, and then when they come to the lesson, they'll do practice activities. They'll practice writing, perhaps they'll practice speaking, perhaps. Okay, so I want now to having shown you a few examples, I'd like to move into the bit where I show you some examples of concerns that teachers have right now, moving forward, about preparing their learners for different tests. So for this activity, I'm going to ask you to work in breakout rooms. But before we do that, there are a couple of one or two things that I'd like to set up. First of all, I'm just putting into the chat box a link to a Padlet. Please could you all click on the link and open this Padlet board. The Padlet board, you will see, has these concerns that are raised by teachers. In your groups, I'd like you to choose one or two or three concerns that the teachers have. Talk to each other about the concern and how you think you as a language tester would be able to help the teacher with this problem. Decide together what your solution to the problem is, and then please write the answer, the solution, on Padlet. Could you tell me right now in the chat box if you think you would be able to do this? Thank you. Thank you so much. So please open the Padlet, and in about 1 minute, we will be going into breakout rooms. If you find yourself in a breakout room with no other people, I know yesterday I attended a couple of sessions and I ended up in a breakout room and there were pictures of people, but no people. If that happens to you, just exit the room and you'll be invited to join a different breakout room. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes. So please go into your breakout room, open your Padlet. I unfortunately can't come with you, so I'm going like this with fingers crossed, hoping that you'll be able to sort this out. Elect somebody perhaps to be in charge of the group, and please add to the Padlet board. I will be able to see what you're doing, however, on my Padlet, my version of the Padlet board. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes, everybody. Thanks so much. If you have any questions, please put them in this chat box.
Hello, is anyone else connected? I cannot hear anyone.
is mostly Cambridge Advanced, and we do 10 lessons or maybe 11. And
Das ist Elif. Sie lebt in Istanbul. Elif ist eine unternehmungslustige junge Frau. Über ihr Smartphone ist sie ständig online, wann und wo es ihr gerade passt. Digitale Kommunikation bereichert ihr Leben, wie sie findet. Seit 3 Jahren lernt Elif Deutsch und ist schon ziemlich gut darin. Sie erzählt ihrer Freundin im Chat, dass sie sich beruflich fortbilden will und für ihren Arbeitgeber ein international anerkanntes Zertifikat als Nachweis für das Niveau ihrer Deutschkenntnisse benötigt. Ihre Freundin empfiehlt ihr das Goethe-Institut. Über die Website erfährt Elif, dass sie das B2-Zertifikat ab 2019 an verschiedenen Standorten des Goethe-Instituts auch digital ablegen kann und meldet sich sofort dafür an. Am Prüfungstag sitzt Elif am Laptop im Institut. Dort bearbeitet sie die Module Lesen, Hören und Schreiben. Damit alle Prüfungsteilnehmenden auf der ganzen Welt die gleichen Voraussetzungen haben und ganz einfach deutsche Buchstaben schreiben können, hat der Laptop eine deutsche Tastatur. Für das Modul Hören bekommt Elif Kopfhörer, um ihre Lautstärke individuell anzupassen. Für das Modul Sprechen legt sie vor Ort eine mündliche Prüfung ab. Digitale Deutschprüfungen bringen für Elif viele entscheidende Vorteile. Sie sind benutzerfreundlich durch moderne Laptops und smarte Funktionen. Das Programm zeigt zum Beispiel in einer Übersicht schon bearbeitete und noch offene Aufgaben und die verbleibende Prüfungszeit an. Außerdem sind digitale Deutschprüfungen zuverlässig, da alle Angaben sofort durch das Programm gespeichert werden. Elif findet es gut, die Prüfung digital abzulegen. Sie ist ganz entspannt und arbeitet trotzdem hochkonzentriert. Sie weiß, wenn sie die Prüfung besteht, eröffnen sich ihr neue Möglichkeiten. Machen auch Sie es wie Elif und legen Sie die Deutschprüfung digital ab. Informieren Sie sich bei Ihrem nächstgelegenen Goethe-Institut oder auf unserer Website www.goethe.de/b2. Das ist Elif. Sie lebt in Istanbul. Elif ist eine unternehmungslustige junge Frau. Über ihr Smartphone ist sie ständig online, wann und wo es ihr gerade passt. Digitale Kommunikation bereichert ihr Leben, wie sie findet. Seit 3 Jahren lernt Elif Deutsch und ist schon ziemlich gut darin. Sie erzählt ihrer Freundin im Chat, dass sie sich beruflich fortbilden will und für ihren Arbeitgeber ein international anerkanntes Zertifikat als Nachweis für das Niveau ihrer Deutschkenntnisse benötigt. Ihre Freundin empfiehlt ihr das Goethe-Institut. Über die Website erfährt Elif, dass sie das B2-Zertifikat ab 2019 an verschiedenen Standorten des Goethe-Instituts auch digital ablegen kann und meldet sich sofort dafür an. Am Prüfungstag sitzt Elif am Laptop im Institut. Dort bearbeitet sie die Module Lesen.
Explaining the framework, that very early version.
had a story distilled from the past. For the human, we wanted to tell it to the world for humanity. And whatever we collected for humanity, we put it in our bag and set off. Since we came into this world, we whirled around it. We told stories at all corners of the world. We listened at all corners. The different fates, sorrows, joys, history, culture, knowledge of the same person. Sometimes we sailed from soul to soul with the canvas of a melody, and sometimes our stories became flames in the fire of love. Whatever we nourished in our hearts, we expressed for humanity. In the light of dreams, with the power of love, with the smile of people. Forgotten in the flow of life. We saw our common dream despite our differences, and the beauty of being one.
zu passen. Für das Modul Sprechen legt sie vor Ort eine mündliche Prüfung ab. Digitale Deutschprüfungen bringen für Ele viele entscheidende Vorteile.